Hello everyone, welcome into our ESPN FC studios for the latest edition of the show. I'm Alexis Nunes, back in the hot seat with Shaka and Craig Burley, and we have heard the requests, and boy do we have a treat for you today. It is the return of Shaka's Power Rankings. Yes.
Why is that the hot seat? Why is that the hot seat?
Because I have to deal with you guys.
All right.
Especially you, fresh from vacation.
It wasn't a vacation.
You look a bit tan, though. I didn't know.
What was
I didn't know Scots went to tan.
Shaq, they say this to me all the time.
What was it?
Whenever I take a couple of days off, it's like, what was it? A trip.
But you got vacation time. All right, let's talk about the Champions League, shall we? Here is a look at the table as things stand after action this week. Bayern Munich, pretty perfect so far in Europe, and they are at the top, but joint top there with Arsenal and Inter just behind them. Liverpool round out the top 8. Jan Åge Fjørtoft, because Jan, I have to start with you, especially at the rate that Bayern Munich are going. We just saw the odds. We just saw quite an impressive performance from them against PSG this season. So can they do it? Can they win it all?
16-16 for them. Remember, 3 months ago, we said that the squad, or people said that the squad was not big enough, and now they're winning for fun. There is calm in the club. I meet journalists who follow Bayern Munich and will get unemployed now. They're so used to FC Hollywood. They're so used to quarreling and discussions in and around the team. But Vincent Kompany has done a fantastic job. And that without Davis, that without Musiala. It's going to be interesting now when Musiala come back, how we will change that, because that Gnabry, that Kane, that Diaz is functioning, is fantastic for Bayern Munich.
What's been the reaction in Germany, though?
Oh, they've hated it. What's your reaction? They're all down in doom and gloom.
No, I just want to know if now, compared to last season, people feel something's changed, that they should be the favourites, because according to the odds, it's still Arsenal.
But don't listen to the odds.
But listen, they used their second team.
Anyway. Sorry, Jan.
No. We've had a vacation when you were gone, Craig, so that's okay. I love you to have you back. But now the reaction has been that the dominance of Bayern, they think they can go all the way. Of course they do. They play with the second team and they beat Bayer Leverkusen the other night. And then they went into this game against PSG. Of course, after Diaz sending off, there was a tough job defense. But it has to also be said that they were a bit afraid of that back with Upamecano and Tah. Upamecano always there for a mistake. Tah, could he be too slow in some situations, but to be fair to them, they've done brilliantly. And when you have Manuel Neuer, who is now the same age as Shaka, but still a bit better goalkeeper than him, he's doing fantastic for them. So they look very, very, very good, Bayern, at the moment.
So when you look at odds, I mean, odds change. Of course, odds change, but who cares about odds? I mean, it's recency bias, isn't it? You know, Liverpool are up there at 71, I believe. They couldn't win a game for toffee up until, a few days ago. Couple of days. What day is it? Thursday? I've lost track of time. I must have had a vacation.
Bayern are looking impressive, aren't they? I mean, to go to the defending champions and win so dominantly.
And PSG grew into the season, if you remember, last year, and then they came like an absolute steamroller of a train. And were the best team by far. And until somebody knocks them off that perch, I think they probably are still the favourites for me. Because they showed last year that they were able to do it when it matters. And when it matters is when this huge big table is sort of done and dusted and it gets to the nitty-gritty, that is when, and PSG proved it when it matters last year. However, this is a statement for a team that people say, well, the Bundesliga is too easy for them this year, they're going to win it again. We'll see if that's the case or not. To do this in this manner so early is nothing but a shot in the arm of confidence. From Vincent Kompany's perspective, it's another feather in his cap in the meantime. But, come March or April next year, when it's a knockout and you really need to be in a good position as PSG were last year, then we don't know. We don't know what state Bayern will be in by that time. We don't know about PSG, but I think we know. We got a good view of that last year, what they were like. Of course, no two seasons are the same. And then Liverpool, Liverpool, what are they going to be like? Are Arsenal still going to be firing? Are Real Madrid sorted themselves out? There's so many tangibles to the story. Barcelona, who the hell knows? I mean, I saw you guys talking about it yesterday. I mean, it's just a shambles at the back. So is that going to sort itself out between now and you know, in May and the business end of the season? We just don't know. It was a great week for Bayern Munich. It was a great week for Liverpool, bearing in mind Arne Slot was under a bit of pressure to get results. And Arsenal just keep steamrolling on. But, you know, from Bayern's perspective, I suppose they are going to be, they're the favourites with the bookies, they are going to be one of the favourites. The big question will be, you know, what state are they going to be in come February, March and April next year? That's going to be the telling story.
And Shaka, the word that Jan used was balance. And that's, I think, what we're seeing with Bayern now. We knew that they were good going forward, but now they seem to have found that balance at the back. So with the Bayern that we're seeing now, do they look like the favourites to win it for you?
Right now, keep in mind, we're still early November. We're, what, 15, 16 games into the season. I don't think there's anybody playing better or more convincing football than Bayern Munich, and Arsenal a very close second. After that, everybody else is a distant third. Whoever you decide is third. And to that point, and I think Jan touched on it, Upamecano for years, you've known that he's good for a mistake. Can you take advantage of that? Jonathan Tah's come in and uncertain pre-season, but has just settled down in this Bayern team. And now they are looking as good, as comfortable as anybody. Still, the best defensive team in Europe for me is Arsenal. But again, Bayern a close second. Everybody else way down in the back in third somewhere. But Bayern's biggest threat is that front four.
Yeah.
Front four that, as Jan pointed out, is missing Musiala. But when you look at how the two wide men in Diaz and Olise operated, when you look at how Kane is able to drop into midfield and become a playmaker, and the runs of Gnabry on, this really is a fearsome Bayern side. And now, to Craig's point about PSG, and PSG were not at all good in the first half of last season, but nobody could deny that they were worthy winners given what we saw in the second half of the season, and in particular in that final against Inter Milan. Now, the thing that both Bayern and PSG maybe have in their advantage is you can make the argument that the league will be over in March, probably even sooner if Bayern continue the way that they are. And then between Luis Enrique and Vincent Kompany, they can rotate and change and bring and put out fresh squads just for the Champions League and manage that competition better than maybe an Arsenal can if Liverpool or Manchester City or whoever else decides to mount a title run. That may be all that separates the win of the Champions League from the old Sarans, those teams that are looking good right now. And that factor is playing firmly into PSG's.
Is that an advantage or a disadvantage, a team winning the league early? Because we've had this discussion over many years. When PSG were failing to win the Champions League, some would say, rightly or wrongly, that the French league was too easy for them at the time. They were winning it at a canter, 15 points, and were taking the foot off the gas and lost a bit of sharpness. So where's the balance between the sharpness and the rotation? And to go back to another point about Bayern, if there is a potential weak point at the back, can we discuss where Arsenal's weak point is?
No.
Do they have a weak point? Is there a weak point? Is the weak point in the manager, or is the weak point in their side the fact that they haven't got over the line, Jan, in this competition? Is that their biggest weak point? The psychological area of we've never won this competition?
I think you're 100% right. I even think that is the problem for them in the Premier League. The biggest opposition for them is Arsenal. Because Arsenal got to win over that. Arteta got to win over that being a pupil of Pep Guardiola. He has to win over that. And it's the same in the Champions League. You know, PSG managed to win it last season. Well, okay, we've done it. That was the big goal from the investors, from Qataris, and all that kind of thing. Bayern Munich, they know it. When you play for Bayern Munich, you are expected to come far in the Champions League. I mean, they take the Bundesliga for granted. It was interesting this week. Liverpool put out a C team against Crystal Palace. Vincent Kompany did it totally opposite. He rotated in the league and he put out the full team against Cologne in the cup because it's expected for them to go for the double. They go all the way for them. It's so important. I went to the Nottingham Forest Arsenal game, and I can always laugh when I listen to Nottingham Forest, Champions of Europe. You can never sing that. And I think that is a part of That's a part of the trouble, the challenge for Arsenal. When the goals get tough, when we see April, when we see May, will they believe they can win it? If they do, that could open the gates. But till then, I think you make a very valid point, Craig.
I still think that the big one for Arsenal, in my opinion, is the Premier League.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I still think particularly for Mikel Arteta, is the Premier League. Is to, finishing second, however many times they have recently, 20-odd years now, I think, since Arsene Wenger's team last won the Premier League. I think that, for them, at the moment, is their sort of holy grail until they get back. I mean, don't get me wrong, of course you would take the Champions League, you would. But I think if you were to prioritise, I think being the champions of your own country again would be first and foremost for them. And at the moment, they're in very good position for both. But yeah, there's some strong teams in there. Unsurprising, it's kind of the same teams. But again, this early stages, I think it's difficult to know what shape teams are going to be in after Christmas and New Year.
But yeah, looking back at Bayern now, because I feel like we're speaking a lot more about them, we're a bit more confident about their run in the Champions League.
It must have been a great holiday, because I thought that game was in Munich. It was a heck of a holiday. I tell you what, the bathtub wasn't small.
I bet that. But luckily you've got deep pockets.
Oh my God.
But yeah, and back to Bayern now. Like I said, I feel like we're speaking about them with a bit more confidence when it comes to winning the Champions League this season. What do you put that down to? What do you feel has changed the fact that they can still do so well without two huge names in Musiala and Alphonso Davies?
Well, it's a good thing to never lose a football game. That is always good. And it's also good that the problem, the challenge for Bayern, we're talking about Arsenal can beat Arsenal. The big thing in Germany is that when the other teams, Leverkusen or the Leipzig or the Dortmunds, can win anything is when Bayern got troubled. Remember at the beginning of the season, not only were we talking about they didn't have a big enough squad, we thought that Diaz maybe was not the first priority. He got there. He got straight in. They love him at Bayern. They love him in Munich. Harry Kane is the leader. Gnabry has taken a step this season. A very underestimated player is Laimer. Laimer is one of those, if you remember all 11 players, starting 11, you always forget Laimer, the Austrian, doing a fantastic job as a kind of potato in the team. You can put him everywhere. So now there is another discussion going on now because they have nothing to discuss now. So now I saw Philipp Lahm, the legendary world champion of Germany. He had his column and he was talking about it's going to be trouble when Musiala coming back. So I think that the main thing that we are saying this is that Company has managed, and I will take this down a lot to Company because I'm a lot in Germany. I follow him a lot on his press conference, a lot of his comments. I do interviews with him, pitch side there, and he's always calm. He's so intelligent. He understands every trap that can happen. And even Max Eberl, remember, he was so under critic. Now he was celebrated at the yearly assembly. There was a big headline when I was still in Germany last week saying he got a 28-second big applause. I mean, Max Eberl, they wanted him out before the season because he couldn't find players.
Oh, right, we need to slow down here.
In what?
Favourites to win the Champions League.
Bayern Munich.
Oh, but come on. Right, if there's a boxing match in March, right? There's a boxing match in March, right? What's March? That's March, the boxing match, right?
Yeah.
One fighter comes in, tip-top shape. The other one comes in, 2 stone overweight. What's going to happen? So we don't know, right? We don't know. Bayern Munich have done well at the moment. That's all it is. I'm not getting carried away with all this favourite for the Champions League.
Program is cancelled. Program is cancelled.
We're in November.
Well, maybe the next game may be able to give you a clearer picture because Bayern do have to face Arsenal. Currently, the 2 favourites according to the odds that we don't pay attention to. Who would you give the advantage to? No Luis Diaz for this one, Shaka.
No Luis Diaz, but listen. I say that with no real conviction because, as I said before, I think right now the 2 outstanding teams in European football are Bayern Munich and Arsenal. Everybody else is a very distant third. Those 2 are very close together. This will be a really interesting game, albeit in November or whatever it is. But I think It's a moment, and in much the same way that Bayern came into this PSG game with a lot to prove, kind of great being perfect in Germany and a couple of Champions League games that you played. This was their first really big test, and they passed with flying colours. Now, similarly with Arsenal, I think this is a huge test for them. They've shown what they're about. They've matched everybody just about. Certainly domestically, I know they lost to Liverpool and the likes, but what you've seen from them of late has been simply outstanding. This is a test like no other, and I think they get over this hurdle, they really start to believe how good they are.
Yeah, and this is going to be a test for Arsenal as well, but the difference is we're looking at Arsenal this season and they finally have that strengthening depth as well.
But, I mean, symbolized with Mourinho. I mean, they didn't have a striker. Yerker is out. He's coming. He scored 2 goals. I mean, there is something around them now. We can't know, though, is there winning culture in there? That we don't know at the moment, but for every, and to Shaka's point, to go to Bayern, that is a big test for them, because we think that these players, because they are football stars, we think they are machines. These are people who live and die by self-confidence. And to go to Bayern and get a good result there will do they ever so good. I don't think they win, though. I think Bayern would still beat them, but it's going to be a massive test and a confidence test for Arsenal.
Yeah, nothing more. I don't want to be the Grinch, but
go ahead.
Fresh off holiday.
But last year, think about PSG's results this time of the year.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going back to it, but I think it's a good barometer. You know, they had so many iffy results in the Champions League. I can't remember them all. Atletico Madrid, I think maybe even Girona. They struggled and struggled and struggled. So, you know, we're sitting here talking about these games as if it's the be-all and end-all. It's a small acid test in a big long season. Not you know, you lose to Bayern at home, it's not the end of the world. You beat Bayern, doesn't mean you're going to win it. You know, it's like Bayern beating PSG. It's not the acid test. The acid test is, you know, because there's a comfort zone, particularly for these big teams of this huge table, right, and the new format. So there is a comfort zone of results and performance at this stage. There is not once it gets to the double-header. And that for me, until the teams get there and they survive or don't survive the double-header against the so-called big boys in the elite, I'm not in on who's going to win this and who's going to win that, because nobody would have predicted PSG to win it last year.
Still, Craig, just a quick point to your point of the big table. I think what we've learned this season is that the teams have learned what happened last season. Because remember, it was not all teams that were in that comfort top 8 zone. I mean, so you see a lot of the top teams now just going for it, understand they have to be there all the time. I'm with you. We can't now predict who will win the Champions League, but I think that you're doing the basic now. Remember, they're playing 2 games in January too. I mean, this getting in this group stage will go on, and have a look at the table now. They don't want that double thing straight after. They want to be among the top 8, and I think that's what we can learn now, how they're building up to that momentum. I think that is the advantage of this big table. But when we talk about, for example, Barcelona struggling at the moment, I had a look at their program rest of the season. I mean, they're playing Slavia Prague, they are playing Copenhagen, so they will get 13, 14 points. I mean, they would definitely go through on that. But still, I like that format and that the clubs have learned from last season's experience.
All right, well, you can bet there's a lot more Champions League talk over on one of our other shows, the Gab and Jules show, and a fresh episode dropped today, so make sure to get it wherever you get your podcasts. All right, well, this was a game that Craig was talking about that impressed him. Liverpool getting a 1-0 win over Real Madrid. And we know that Real Madrid may have their issues, but them in the Champions League is a completely different beast. But it was Liverpool under the lights at Anfield that got the valuable points. Jan, what did you make of this Liverpool performance, especially considering all the recent struggles we have seen from Arne Slot's men?
I would put it into a Liverpool week, which started that he was criticised for giving the boys a rest. Then he went into the Villa game. That was a good game. So he managed this week, I would say, all in all, to have his 2 best games of the season. from the Villa game to the Real Madrid game. I think that looked more like Liverpool. I think they went back to basic. I think the position of Wirtz looked better.
Well, McAllister has been a bit of a ghost so far this season, but he stepped up. But Craig, this result impressed you the most?
Yeah, well, I didn't see the games because, as you know, I was away, but I caught bits and pieces of it. And what's interested me is, Jan touched on it, it was a huge week. You know, they lost to Palace in the Carabao Cup, but they made a raft of changes. It was a bunch of kids. Villa was huge for them. And then Real Madrid at home, who had just won a Clasico, were top of the league. Not playing brilliant, but playing good enough with the informed player, you could argue, in European football, in Kylian Mbappe. And then, obviously, Man City at the weekend. So, as Jan said, just a huge, huge week. And not just the fact that they've got 2 victories thus far, the manner in which they got Wirtz in the side, the manner in which they played, the manner in which they created so many chances that Courtois was man of the match. But one of the interesting things for me is, at the start of the season, you looked at the middle of the park and you said, he's a really good player, he's the captain of Hungary, but Dominik Szoboszlai, he's going to be the guy to miss out, right? When Wirtz is there and Gravenberch is playing as he did last year, which he hasn't, and McAllister, which he hasn't, he's had injuries. But how are they all going to fit in? And you kind of felt Szoboszlai was the guy that was probably going to miss out, you know. And yet he's been the man this season. Okay, he's played right back, he's played midfield, he's played 10. He's been shuffled all over the place, but you could argue, and particularly in this game, but you know, for the bulk of the Premier League season, where Liverpool have struggled, he's been the best player. And I think what that tells me is, I think it's, you know, and he was probably thinking that himself. And the reason I say this is it's always important to keep players on their toes. And Dominik Szoboszlai, who was excellent in this match, probably thought, he's coming in to play number 10. That's one less space in the middle of the park. I'm probably going to be on the bench. I need to up my game. That's the kick up the backside some players have needed. He's been playing much better than the others, and that really has impressed me. I mean, again, you know, I think Arne Slot has made some, up until this last couple of games, has made some errors in team selection. I don't think many thought Isak should have started the United and the Chelsea games, but he did. Should have been Ekitike. So I think that was a mistake. So he's kind of having to take that on the chin himself. But he's figured it out thus far. It's been a huge week for them. If they are to beat City at the weekend, mark my words, they are very much back on track. As quickly as it goes down the way, as it was, it seemed, for Liverpool, it can go back up the way just as quickly because of that confidence. And that was a huge confidence booster. Not if you're Milos Kerkez at left back, who's had a tough time, but it's needs must. It's needs must for Arne Slot. He needs to put the round pegs in the round holes to get results. And in all fairness, Villa and Real Madrid, he's done that very well.
Well, funny you should say that, but Shaka, all summer long, our Stevie Nicol, when the transfer window was open and we were doing the shows, he was just begging for them to strengthen that back line. And then if you, I guess, could look at it now, they didn't strengthen quite to the standards our Stevie Nicol would have wanted to. But now looking at how that back line dealt with the threats from Vinny Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, I mean, it was quite impressive. But you notice Andy Robertson coming back in. But how much realistically can Arne Slot rely on Andy Robertson this season?
And that's a big question for me. And of everybody in Liverpool, I think we know their potential, we know how good they are. But did we ever think Robertson would have the kind of game in the Champions League against Real Madrid that he did, or beat up against Camavinga? Oddly, that's one thing.
That was a strange
one.
That's for Xabi Alonso to answer. But there's Valverde coming behind. But Robertson, who was surplus to requirements, or just about, a few months ago, all of a sudden steps in on this stage, has an outstanding game. On the other side, you got Bradley, who plays up against Vinicius Jr. And again, he, no question, he, in terms of just one-on-one battles, where time and time again, you say to players, win those one-on-one battles with your man, and Bradley did that against Vinicius Jr. I mean,
some of his antics were embarrassing.
But
Again.
Real Madrid aside, just looking at Liverpool, and particularly for me, those two wing backs, I think they both deserve an immense amount of credit for the jobs that they've done. But to your question, Alexis, can they do it for the next 30 or 40 games or whatever is left in the season, including cup competitions and how deep Liverpool may go in this in the Champions League? I'm not so sure, and which is why pre-season, everybody was saying Liverpool needed to strengthen defensively. Now, this is one game in which absolutely they were outstanding and need to be given their credit for that. But can they do it game after game over a long season, over the Christmas period that we talk about is always so defining? That's the challenge for this Liverpool rearguard. I'll also say that the two centre-backs who've come into their criticism a lot this season, again, Kylian Mbappe, the form that he's in, Van Dijk and Konate look unbothered for much of the evening. Credit to everybody in that Liverpool back four for the job that they've done. They have got to maintain that, though.
I don't think Andy Robertson can now do it all season. I think I saw him play for Scotland recently as well, and he struggled. I mean, he's been a great player, don't get me wrong. Absolutely amazing fullback. But he can't, and he's got all the experience in the world, and probably that's what they need at the moment, just to go in and maybe do a more defensive job rather than, you know, marauding down the left-hand channel, which he'll do now and again. But why the hell would Xabi Alonso play Camavinga high up on the right-hand side, when really that's Liverpool's weaker area, or one of their weaker areas? Surely you play somebody that's taking up spaces and areas of the field that's going to make it difficult for Robertson to make a decision. Do you know, if it's Arda Güler or Maston Twa, whoever it is, do you squeeze in with him or do you stay off him? You get one-on-one with him. He gives me a problem. Why would he do that? Does Xabi Alonso still think Andy Robertson is the marauding fullback of 2, 3, 4 years ago, where he was up and down there like a train for 90 minutes, and he put Camavinga out there to stop that? That's not the player he is anymore. Even if it was Milos Kerkez in the side there as a youngster, he's not doing that. He's not getting forward anywhere near when he was playing as much as Andy Robertson did in his pomp, because he's short of confidence. He's nervous on the ball. So why would Xabi Alonso make a decision like that in an area where Liverpool are not as big a threat as they have been over the years? Because Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the other side, they were a huge threat, weren't they? You didn't just have to worry about Mo Salah and Gakpo or Diaz. You had to worry about the fullbacks absolutely bombing forward. That's not been the case this season. It really hasn't. So I thought that was another. Every now and again, Xabi Alonso does something, whether it's, I don't know so much at Leverkusen, but certainly at Real Madrid. Every now and again, he chucks one in there and you think, really?
Yeah.
You know, Bellingham in the Madrid derby had 20 minutes of football and you're going, really? You were a midfielder, Xabi Alonso. You know what it's like to go in the engine room when you've got no fitness and no sharpness and you're lacking all the match sharpness and, you know, everything you need, the energy and all that sort of stuff. And then the Camavinga up on the right against Liverpool's problematic area. I just don't understand.
I think I just want to say to Shaka's point that what will happen to Liverpool during this season. What we do know is that Arsenal will also have a break. There's something, they will have a couple of 3 games when things not working. I think what we've seen from Liverpool this season is when you get new players in, you take them in with some promise of playing time. Wenger said the other day that Wirtz was promised the number 10 position. Then you have to give him that and see if he succeeds. I think that maybe what Liverpool have experienced now that they seem to got out of it, and then they can lose it at City, and you will say they are far away from Arsenal, but still. They have now players in there. They have tried out something. Now with Robertson, I don't think he can play every game. I'm not 100% sure that Bradley is good enough to play every game as well. We know that the central defense, one injury there, and you're struggling. But I still think that Liverpool got the squad to change things. And the players will get in form. It's nothing wrong with the potential of the players that are there. I mean, Isak will score goals. We know that. Florian Wirtz will get scoring points. We know that. Szoboszlai, Craig's point, yes, he's up his game. Gravenberch will be better, and so on and so on. I think now that they manage this week, and if we take the game against at City on Sunday as well, a huge week, and if they survive, if they land on their feet this week, I think the Liverpool fans could be quite positive of the future, because we know they won last season. We know they know what it's like. Arsenal haven't won it, so they will always have that pressure over them, and Liverpool can play a bit freer, if that is an English word.
Jan, to Craig's point about Xabi Alonso, that every now and again he has thrown out a decision or a change that's made us go, huh? What's going on here? You obviously got close to him and spoke to him a lot during that amazing run at Leverkusen where he was absolutely flourishing. Now we know it's a different kettle of fish at Real Madrid, but why do you feel like he's finding it a bit harder to get that perfect method right or chemistry right?
Well, first of all, it's a big difference. You're playing, singing in a choir in Germany, in Leverkusen, and then be the lead vocalist of the Beatles. I mean, it's this is Real Madrid. I mean, you may say this is the biggest club in the world. There's a big pressure, and even Alonso. If we think that Alonso, because he won the championship in Germany, he hasn't been a coach for many years. It's one of the reasons why a lot of the coaches who win have been there for ages and got that experience. So I think that he still have to learn his team. He has to understand the team. He will try things out. We don't know whatever happened in the dressing room. We just see sometimes the reactions on the pitch. There could be different reasons why he's trying out things on the pitch. He could have a great training week. Where should I put him? I want him in the team, and so on. So I think this is wow, what a year for Xabi Alonso. He's still, I'm not saying he's a rookie, but he's not an experienced coach, and we tend to forget that.
Let's put a player against Andy Robertson that's not going to give him any problems going forward. Really. Yeah. Let's put a player against Andy Robertson to stop him because he's the greatest attacking left-back on the planet. No, he used to be one of them. I mean, he was incredible. He used to be incredible at getting up and down that left-hand side, and he used to be incredible one-on-one, which as you get older, you have more problems with. So why put a player out there in a different formation that's really not going to have to stop him going forward or give him much of a headache going the other way? Is it? Why are you laughing? Is it coach overthinking? Is the Champions League by this 36-team group stage? Is that where it is now? Is it a bouncing place where managers try things for later on in the competition? Is that kind of where we are, or is it just manager overthink? I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me, that decision.
Well, Jan mentioned it. There's a big game in the Premier League this weekend. Manchester City going up against Liverpool in this one. Shaka, just looking ahead to that one. Who starts in left back for Liverpool then? Do you stick with your tried and true Andy Robertson? Can he handle midweek?
I'll tell you who doesn't start.
You go with that same starting 11. I think all of them have earned that right.
Can Andy handle it?
Hold on. We're not there yet. We're not. Listen. I'm talking about. Sorry, Shaq. Let's not take this out of context before other idiots do. I'm not saying Andy Robertson. I'm just saying he's not quite the player that he was, which was up here, right? So
still better than Kirkes. Still better than Kirkes.
Exactly, and that's unfortunate for young Kirkes at the moment. And listen, it'll be a huge dent to his confidence. But I said to Stevie 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were in the office. I said he's going to have to take him out the side, and Stevie said, "Well, the problem is Robertson doesn't quite look fit enough." And then he had a game where he came on against Chelsea, I think, got caught at the back post, and he went away and played in the game that I mentioned for Scotland, and struggled. And so that wasn't an easy decision for Arne Slot. But you know, you said is Andy Robertson ready? Andy Robertson's a very, very good player.
He's Scottish. He can handle it.
There's lots of bad Scottish players. The point is Andy Robertson can still do a job. Right? He can do a job defensively, and he still will get forward. I'm not suggesting he can't do this, that, and the next thing. But it's just the fact he's not the player he was. But he could easily go into a game like that and use his experience and say, do you know what? I don't need to be bombing forward unless I need to. I can just take my position off Van Dijk, make sure I'm covering, talking to people, getting some help in, all the sort of stuff that Milos Kerkez is still learning, certainly at a big club. And so for those reasons, I think absolutely Andy Robertson.
To your question, Andy Robertson has to be up for it. He has to handle it, to your term, Alexis. And let's be honest, this is going to be a test. Savinho may not be a Camavinga. I say tongue firmly in cheek. But between City's wide men and Camavinga and Doku, they have been simply outstanding. But they're both younger, they're both a little bit less experienced, and to Craig's point, maybe that's what Andy Robertson has over them. A little bit of experience, just a little bit of an older, wiser head, and allows him to match up with these two players. Now, again, before a ball was kicked, before we knew Real Madrid's lineup, you could probably ask the same question about Andy Robertson, about Bradley on the other side, and we'd have the same kind of questions about whether they could. They answered those. Now again, it's a very different test, but I don't think Slot has any choice. The one thing, as I say, that Robertson has going in his favour is that he's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and maybe that he can use to his advantage.
You're not taking Kerkez out of the frying pan and chucking him back in.
Against Sevilla.
Man City away.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. You know, you're not taking him out and then chucking him back in where he could get an absolute roasting and it just goes from pillar to post. It just gets worse. You just make the problem worse. I think there'll be a classic case here for Arne Slot to just get Andy Robertson in the office and say, listen, you know, the young man's struggling. Help him on the training ground. And, you know, senior players well. Robertson knows the scenario, right? He knows they've brought a live back in because he can't keep doing it. So Slot will be talking to him saying, look, we need to help the young man, we need to do this. But in the meantime, I just need you to do a job for me. I don't need you to be, you know, the greatest attacking left back in the planet, because I know as we get older, but I need you to come in and make that back four solid. More solidity, more continuity, more experience. And then, you know, gradually get Kerkez into the side and Robertson will get his game time. But for this game at the weekend, absolutely, unless there's a problem, Kerkez will not start this match.
Did he call Bournemouth and say, could you play with a high line so I can score 2, 3, 4, 5 goals? He's on fire, Erling. I've never seen him fitter. I have never seen him more involved in a game. I've never seen him being more a leader out on the pitch. You can say that City are too depending on him. Yes, I see that point, but it seemed that it doesn't bother him. I mean, it's not like the opposition play Manchester City and think, I wonder if this Norwegian, this blonde guy will score a goal. I'm not sure that he will be dangerous. So massive days for him. They got a big game this week. He's playing on Thursday against Estonia at home. If we win that, Norway will be at the World Cup. And then he can be calm in this game against Liverpool, not getting injured. Please look after yourself. And it's a big, big week for Erling Haaland.
Jan, give us a prediction.
For what? For
this game. Don't say anything yet because you're on the show with me tomorrow and we have a full preview on this. So
hey, trust me, I wasn't going to say a word.
Oh, okay, good. Jan, what's your prediction?
My prediction is 2-2.
2-2.
I was just going to ask him a relevant question there before you went and nose first with your prediction. Right. Do you think, Jan, that Man City and Pep Guardiola in particular has had a little bit of a sea change in how they approach the game to get Haaland more involved, more balls into the box, more bodies around him, more service? Do you think there's been a mentality saying, look, he's our biggest asset, we don't have Kevin De Bruyne anymore, we don't have this, that and the next thing. We need to make sure we are getting the service to him a little quicker and in better areas?
I think that, Craig, is a good question because I think Manchester City have had a reality check. I mean, they have got in 3 or 4 players and they are good players, yes, but this is not the De Bruyne of the world. This is not Alvarez either. I think they miss Alvarez. I mean, that kind of player in the team, they've got players in. And I think that after last season, there was I think Erling scored 30 goals in a terrible season. This is a man who plays for a team that at that time didn't do counter-attacks as they did against Bournemouth. They were quicker trying to find that space behind the back four of Bournemouth and also get crosses in. Can you believe to be a striker and not get crosses? That's what I say. It was breaking news when I saw Doku finally start making crosses. So yes, I think they've had they also see that the game evolves. This just keep the ball kind of thing is not as efficient as it used to be. And you see that with Arsenal, you see that by Liverpool, you see that even with Bayern, because there are games that Bayern doesn't have the great ball possession, but when they get the ball to Diaz, one against one, or you give it to Gnabry, turn around, Kane, lay it back, be the playmaker in the team. So yes, I think they have a more pragmatic approach to the game now, City.
And I heard Gab talking yesterday about Foden as well.
Yeah.
We're obviously going on to something else. And by the way, I'll not be talking about this game tomorrow.
Well,
so
we
you
are
can
talking
stick
about this game tomorrow.
if you're planning on me doing a big preview on it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
We'll get Craig's prediction tomorrow, but Nathan Mano is also joining us on the show as we do preview.
I'll do a prediction at a struggle.
All right, well, Club Brugge went up against Barcelona, and what an entertaining game this was. I suppose, unless you like really sloppy defending, it was sublime in some bits, like Lamine Yamal's goal, but it also was ridiculous in others. Barca's defending left a lot to be desired once again, and Hansi Flick had this to say after the game.
We can make it like this, that we make a low block and then we defend in the last third, or we go on our way, our philosophy, how we want to do it, and make things much better. I think when you see the first goal last season, for me 100% 2 meters offside or 1 meter offside, clear offside. This we struggle a little bit. We have not the confidence, and of course we can speak about to change everything. But I'm not a coach to change this, because we want to play like our DNA is, and we don't want to defend in a low block and then make maybe some transition to win 1-0. No, 3-3 is not the best result for us. We came back after every goal, so this is a positive thing. But we have to speak about this match.
Craig, does he sound a little defensive there? Like he's going to be defensive?
Well, he won't change, right? And that's patently obvious and has been for a while. So they will have to do it better. But nobody's asking them to play in some... Well, nobody asks them anything. It's not our job to ask. It's his job to figure it out. And I don't think anybody's expecting him to play in some sort of low block on the edge of their own box. Araujo's come in. He can't squeeze up. He doesn't organise. That's why he didn't play much last year. It's been Eric Garcia. It's been Kubasi. It's chopped and changed. And it really hasn't worked. And if you even against the weakest teams, Girona, Alaves, and others in La Liga, they've been taken apart. And that defending, and was that game yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. That game yesterday, squeezing up almost on the halfway line, like they were. I think you said it when the pass is only 2 or 3 yards away. It's just bonkers. And we sit here and go, this is just bonkers. We're not waking up going, oh, I tell you what, I hope Barcelona camp themselves on the edge of their own box and just make it difficult. No. But there's a limit into what you can do and how you can squeeze. And when you go beyond that limit and do what they are doing, you get punished, and you get punished on a regular basis. And they are. It doesn't matter who Barcelona play at the moment. And the boys, I think, said it yesterday. It does not need to be a difficult or world-class ball to open up this back line. So I think Hansi Flick has a big problem. One of the problems is his defensive personnel, their ability to try and play this line. And his other problem is he's put his head in the sand here and he knows it's too late to come out and change. It's the DNA, he said it, and I think it's the thing that's going to eventually this season take them down.
Yeah, and it seems like he's getting a bit more defensive about his back line. And as Craig said, it's not like we're telling them to go shift your identity, play in a low block. But that defensiveness that we see from him now is kind of reminding me a lot about Ange Postecoglou when things started to go south at Tottenham and he had to come out and try and defend his identity as well. But we all know how that ended.
Yeah, it reminded myself when I have a little fight with my wife. I go all defensive and I go all the way. So you want me to be, you know? So it's like. But the thing is with Hansi Flick, I mean, he got the titles to show for it, which he will say I will have to stay with it. The way I'm doing it, as Craig was saying, nobody asked him to play a low block. But I mean, every football man, every football coach, if you do a bit of football coaching courses, they say you shall not squeeze up when there is not pressure on the man who has the ball. I mean, that is the rule number one in any kind of the way. And sometimes I feel I don't know if you agree on that, but sometimes when they play against weaker teams, they just play that easy ball. When they play against the better team, they think, no, we can't just play route one game. I saw the game against Brugge. Brugge, they just got the ball, chipped it over the back four, and then they just attacked it big time. And sometimes you feel that the big teams, that is a bit too primitive for us. We can't play like that. But he's taken apart. And that game yesterday was unbelievable. I mean, and yes, I understand, Alexis, what you're saying about Ainge Postecoglou. I mean, you get sometimes this Spurs-Chelsea vibe. You remember that game when Jackson could have been Jackson 5. He could have scored 5 or 6 goals.
Well, Barcelona will be in action this weekend in La Liga. It returns to ESPN. They are in action on Sunday against Celta Vigo, an away game for Hansi Flick, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us 30 minutes before. Craig and I will be calling that game, I believe.
Oh, what day is it?
For the Sunday. Seeing you all day.
I'm trying.
He needs some time to bounce back.
Well, Surprise! Surprise!
I was looking to see how many clean sheets Barca have kept.
All right, we have waited all day for this. Craig came back from vacation just for this. Shaka Hislop's power ranking.
And like I said, the top 2 stand alone, pretty much. Bayern and Arsenal, 1 and 2.
Where's
I tell you what, you buckled last week. I had a pop at you for putting Stuttgart in, and you've taken them right out. How can Bournemouth get beat at City and you put them in?
Because it's City. As in the same way that
How can PSG get walloped?
Exactly, because they get beat from
PSG
teams in the
got
top 10. Nobody else can claim as much. Everybody dropping points. I can't.
Where's Karabakh? They held the mighty world champions Chelsea to a draw.
Behave yourself.
Shaka, you're not getting invited.
Behave yourself. Galatasaray in at 5. City deservedly back in, kind of given what we've seen from them this week. PSV, Inter, AC Milan on a little bit of a run here. All of a sudden, I'm back in at number 8. And like I said, PSG and Bournemouth are in. They lost to teams also in the top 10. Nobody else can claim as much.
City get 2 wins, and that takes them back in, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
So what's the difference between City beating Dortmund and Bournemouth and Liverpool beating Villa and Real Madrid?
Because Liverpool have just lost, what, 5 in the previous 6 or 7 we saw. So, okay, you get results against Villa and Real Madrid, but that's about it.
They took down Real Madrid, though, Shaka.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an honourable mention.
Yeah,
at least.
They lost to Manchester United. That means you can't be in the top 10.
Yeah, but Shaka, that was ages ago.
If you lose to Manchester United, you have to take a 6-month sabbatical.
It's not that easy.
You have to take a sabbatical.
You're right. If you lose to Man United, you're automatically out for 6 months.
For 6 months.
All right, that's Craig.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a very proud member of the ESPN FC team, and since we discussed now over the years, there are 3 things that I can never find out. I still can't figure out Albert Einstein's, all the theories. I try, I do my best, I read all the books. I still can't understand the handball rules, and I can't understand the rules of Shaka Hislop's power ranking. I never understand it. So you have Bournemouth, who play with the highest line since Bobby Charlton at Etihad, losing in Manchester City.
Second highest line.
Okay, sorry. Second highest line. And then you have Liverpool, who play brilliantly, beat Aston Villa. No, they're not in the top 10. But Shaka, I know you have your rules. I still don't get them. But I still think that I back you, man. I back you.
Wow.
I love your power
I just like you doing it. I just think it's a must because I love how people get very angry at you.
They do. They
take it personally.
Which really sort of makes it for me, you know what I mean? Like, because we just see it as a bit of fun. But people
a great day in Bournemouth today. Great day in Bournemouth.
People celebrated in Bournemouth.
And over the years, as people's anger got like it's upped its level.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of anger out there.
Are you not engaging with the people that are getting angry at you?
No.
Well, it's
I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, Greg.
Wow. Well, guess what? You can listen to more of Shaka's scientific conclusions.
Where are you, Alexis? Are you on tonight?
Americas. I am not on tonight.
Not on tonight?
Oh, okay. Christina Herc and you doing that double shift 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do tune in. Welcome into Extra Time. Oh, we are so happy to have our Craig Burley back from vacation. He's a lot more tanned, rested, calm,
Oh, Bill.
right in time for the Conference League and
he wouldn't miss it.
he would not miss it.
Only thing we're missing is a little A-League action.
I clearly didn't think this one out properly.
Oh, he loves it.
Plenty of time. I should have stuffed it all in at once. Got a bit burnt on my last day, Shaq. Got a bit.
Too much.
It happens. Don't worry, the cold up here will sort that right out.
Yeah.
It got a bit hot and I forgot the old...
But
The factor 50.
But you are miss Craig, and you said in the show that I'm more in England than you guys, and when I speak to English football fans, they always come over to me and ask, is Craig Burley as grumpy as it seems on the screen? and I always say, no, he's a smiling man.
Please,
he loves his life.
Please tell them I am the most horrible person.
No.
I don't want the mask
You got
to
a soft
slip.
heart.
Don't know me.
It's just a facade. It's
No,
just a
it's
facade.
It is.
I'll tell you today, Shaq, Jan, Sid, Fred, John, I'll tell you today, it's not a facade.
No, it is.
Tell you that.
Oh, it's a
All right,
facade.
well, it's convenient
Craig
that we're
was
talking about
skipping in
Craig.
today.
If anybody thinks there's going to be a double preview of Man City Liverpool tomorrow,
I'm tuning in for
going
that.
to be mistaken.
I'm tuning in for that tomorrow.
Please do. All right,
I need
next
to know
question.
Craig's
First question,
Who's on
rather, and it
tomorrow?
is for Craig. Craig, did you have a go and wrestle that alligator? After you finished your round of golf, the gator did appear to interrupt your round of golf.
No, the gator was having a kip. He was having a sleep.
Oh.
So you didn't go and touch your tail or nothing?
Oh, there's a gator.
Oh, he's...
This is from Craig's personal photos.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That looks like how I sleep.
Well, yeah, he's big enough. However, one of my buddies that was with me, he reckoned that...
He's dead.
Yes. Kevin reckoned the gator was dead. And I was like, well,
One way to find out.
One way to find out.
One way to find
Pull
out.
him by the tail.
you may go up and check.
Did Kevin check?
No.
But Craig, I mean, when you follow you on the social media, I mean, you are the new Sir Richard Attenborough. There's always deer animals,
wow.
there are bears, alligators. There's always something happening around
Yeah,
you. Do you
well-
live in a zoo? Do you live in a zoo?
I was in Florida, so...
Yeah, that's fair. But there's always a bear or something going around
No,
you.
there was there was a lot of deer running about, and they're different from very different from Connecticut deer,
Oh.
right?
All right,
This is what I noticed.
you had a chat.
He's Snow White.
No, this is what I noticed in my David Attenborough sense. You see a deer in Connecticut here.
David, Richard.
Yeah, David Attenborough.
Yeah, no, sorry. His brother.
The deer's just bold, don't they?
Yeah.
Here.
Like, woof, as soon as you get within any distance down there, they were waltzing about the course.
Don't they hunt them more down there?
That's a warm weather deer.
That's
Friendly,
warm weather deer.
very friendly.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
It was
That's
warm
the
weather
only
deer,
thing I
don't
can
run.
be. I'll be honest about Twitter now. But the only thing I can be bothered doing is just taking a picture about once a month of some sort of wildlife. I think that's what Twitter
Oh, that's
deserves.
beautiful.
Doesn't deserve anything else. Like, you know.
Do you bird watch?
Do you what?
Do you bird watch?
I beg your pardon?
No, I do not.
Not in Florida, they're too old for you.
No.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that was a great habit.
I'll tell you what, it's amazing the amount of bird watchers you see though.
Yeah, it's amazing. Was this a trip?
I was walking the dogs this morning and people were out with these big cameras taking, and I'm like, what
Were
a
they
life.
watching birds? What kind of birds were they watching?
Wildlife.
This is going all kinds of directions.
This is going all kinds of directions.
This is brilliant.
Wildlife.
All right, we'll go to the second question before we get anybody in trouble. Jan,
Well, you don't get in
I'm a
trouble for bird
Middlesbrough.
watching.
That's my
Yeah.
ex. Jan, I'm a Middlesbrough supporter from
Fossen. Yeah, it's a village next to my
Oh, perfect.
village.
Who
Yeah.
started following the borough because of you way back in 1995. What are your top 3 favorite memories in your borough career?
Well, Juninho arriving at Middlesbrough was a big one because I've never seen a good player like he was. I couldn't believe. we all wanted to stop playing football because he was so amazing what he did with his ball. When I arrived at the club and signed for the club, I grew up as a Leeds United supporter, and I went to the corridors of Ayresome Park, and the first one was one of my heroes, Gordon McQueen, coming into the corridors, in the dark corridors. I went down on my knees. I was a record signing, and I said, "It's Gordon McQueen." Ah, wow, fantastic! That was a great thing. And of course, the first game of the season, we played Chelsea. At Riverside Stadium. I got the Buzz Aldrin goal, I got the second one, and Craig Hignett got the first one. So that was a great day.
Brilliant.
Craig Hignett. What year was that, Jan?
95, 96 maybe.
Oh.
96, 996. Yeah, whatever. I can't remember where I was last weekend. So
a long time
ago.
Yeah.
I was 5 years old. Next question. Would it be a bad idea for Rob Edwards to take the Wolves job, as he's likely to be in the Premier League next season with Borough anyhow?
Is he?
Well, Borough are flying, aren't they?
Does he want to go to Wolves? Is that the hottest rumor?
Yeah, he's linked with the job.
Yeah, I saw it was linked, but I mean, the potential Middlesbrough got at the moment, it's much more likely that they will be in the Premier League, as you were saying, than Wolverhampton. I can't believe it if he does that.
I rely on Kay Murray for all my Middlesbrough news.
Okay.
So Kay hasn't
Coventry are favourites to go up, though, aren't they?
Yes, early on.
Yeah.
It's a long season in the Championship.
Where was Lampard linked now? I saw something about that as well. Is he also linked to the Wolves job now? Is he?
Like
I would be surprised if he left that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a great job there.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. Which team has more problems, Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Didn't Real Madrid just beat Barcelona? I'll go with Barcelona have more problems as a result.
Is that a serious question?
Barca as well?
No, no, the question was, is that a serious question? I don't care about the question, but is the question a serious question? Is that somebody that's not watched football? Soccer, call it what you like. At the top of the league, they've just beat them. They haven't kept a clean sheet. I've checked this. 21st of September, I believe, Barca. It was Getafe, of all teams. Barely kept one all season. Lost 3 at Club Brugge. All over the place. I mean, Real Madrid haven't been great, but that can't be a serious question, really. I mean, surely. Seriously. I mean, come on.
And I bet Jan agrees.
Yeah, I agree, but stop callers surely. Okay,
Shirley.
next.
All right, Shirley Fjordhoff.
Shirley Fjordhoff.
You need to go for a geography lesson.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That was
you just
Scandinavia.
you got a big paintbrush and paint.
No. I didn't want to correct you because it's very close, and we are Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So I will excuse you.
Well, I wanted to correct
One big happy Scandinavian
Well, I wanted to correct you because one's in Norway and one's in Denmark.
Yeah.
Norway, Denmark.
Yeah.
Sweden.
Fair enough.
But one big happy Scandinavian family.
That's like calling me English.
Oh, no, no.
It's very close.
Scotland's very much not a happy family, though, with England.
Some Norwegians say, "Oh, we got to support Sweden and Denmark." Why? We are competitors. Yeah. I mean, I want us to come to the World Cup. I don't want Sweden to come to the World Cup. I want us to be there, all on our own.
But I support Shaka with Trinidad and Tobago, and you equally support Jamaica, right? But I do hope we beat you.
You support Jamaica.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why would you
support
support
it would be nice to see two.
Because we're siblings.
We're siblings.
Wayne, don't talk nonsense.
I'm the bigger brother.
You got the UK. The Welsh don't support the English or Scottish. I just can't have that. Sorry.
That's a different dynamic with.
We're one Caribbean.
You 4.
We're forced to play together in cricket.
Well, we're one United Kingdom. What's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
You're on
Great
your back foot
Britain
today,
as well.
Big time.
No, but I'm just saying how it is in the Caribbean.
It's far more complex. That whole UK thing is far more complex than between us. There's a lot issue with you all that we don't have.
I made my debut for Norway.
Oh, it's very different in the Caribbean than it is in the UK.
We're lovers, not fighters.
Yeah, we're lovers, not fighters.
You're so laid back.
I
made my debut in Grenada. And I played St. Lucia, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. That was my first games for Norway. So I loved it.
No wonder you scored as many goals as you did.
Very harsh.
I played against Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. I'm an old man.
All right. We've already gone on to the next question.
Is it any better than the last one?
Shaka, why are Newcastle so inconsistent?
Can't win away from home. Oh, sorry. Did you say
Shaka.
Close to Craig.
One big happy family,
One big
right?
family, ESPN FC, say a name, we talk.
Exactly.
Away from home, can't win a game.
And
Craig
why?
answered for you.
And why? And why?
What?
Why?
And why was the question?
Oh, why are they so... Well, they're... Oh, my God. They need to spell it out. Their away form is terrible.
And that's why they came.
Why?
That's
Why?
They, okay,
Why?
Jan's throwing that
I
extra
don't know why. I can't. Eddie Howe doesn't know why. St James's Park crowd, atmosphere, Shaq.
one
So
love.
the answer is Eddie why?
Eddie
Okay,
Howe.
thank you, Craig.
Can't win away from home.
There you go.
That's why they're so inconsistent.
Shaka, you want to chime in?
No, Craig
Soft.
did for me. Craig did all my talking there.
Did.
All.
All right. Next question. Does Danny Welbeck deserve a recall to England as a backup to Harry Kane?
I'm trying to think about the backups to Harry Kane at the moment. Ollie Watkins, help me out. Off the top of my head, how many is there apart from Watkins? You're a striker, Jan, help me out. Somebody help me out.
I work
Oh, man,
very
isn't
hard
I
now.
Yes is the answer.
Shaka says yes.
Yes,
Yes,
actually,
it's got to be yes.
He's like a fine wine, to be fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautifully put.
No, he is.
Lovely.
He's a player that I think has got. I mean, and it'll plateau at a certain age. We've all been there. But he has gone away, and as he's got older and more experienced, I think he's actually become a better player.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, yes, I has.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, if he's in form for Brighton, coming up to the squad selection, you know, you'd imagine Watkins will be in the four, and anybody else that I forgot. But certainly Danny Welbeck, whenever you see him play, you think, do you know what? You're a better player now than when you were 25.
Mm-hmm. I think with the big squads they have now for national games, I mean, we're talking 28, 29 players. I think there should always be a space available for players who are in top form. I think that is something with the dynamic, is something about the competition for places. So I think Welbeck should be in this. I'm not sure that he will be top 16, but I think he should be rewarded for, like Craig is saying, he's playing wonderfully at the moment.
England, Wales, Scotland should just be one, shouldn't it?
Well, they do play as one.
In the Olympics.
But
Team GB.
Yeah.
So one love.
no, but most of the players don't go because it's garbage. Nobody cares. I've
But
said
the
this all along. Olympics, right? Olympics, 100 metres, javelin, high jump.
Track and field.
And that's it.
Us.
Track and field.
Is the
Soccer's not an
Olympics.
Olympic sport.
No.
All the golf. I know they put,
Track and field.
you know, and all that Scandinavian golf that they do.
That's the Winter Olympics.
That's
That's the Winter Olympics.
Same thing. Olympics all under one
boy.
umbrella.
You're not a fan.
What?
You're not a fan of the Olympics.
Oh, I used to love the Olympics. But I used to love like the 100 metres when it was you know, Calvin. Carol Lewis.
Yeah.
I'll get something right today. Carol Lewis. Ben Johnson, that's another story.
Yeah.
You know, all these great runners and the 1500.
Steve
all
Owett,
that
Sebastian Coe, Steve Cram.
Yeah,
I
Coe,
mean,
Seb Coe.
Yeah.
He won a few races with his nose alone. Seb Coe. Mind you, I can't talk.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
No, I used to love the Olympics. I just don't like all these other sports that they try and integrate
And
now.
throw in.
I mean, you go as GB, and it's just not a full team. Most people don't go. If you'd asked Stevie and I, not that we'd have been selected, maybe him, I don't know. You want to go and play in the Olympics in the summer or whenever it is? No
You said
chance. No chance.
Of course you should play in the Olympics, Craig. What experience is there?
World
It's a
Cup's-
competition.
It's a bit like the Club
Yeah.
World Cup. Look, no, it's not. It's only Olympics that's for me. Gymnastics.
Shaka's really good
Gymnastics.
at gymnastics.
That is fantastic.
His knowledge. All right, let's go to the final question now that everyone can. Oh, okay, no final question. I will keep it for mañana. All right.
I'm tuning in tomorrow.
Oh, is that a
I
big one
wonder
for
what
tomorrow?
that question
It
was.
was going to be
I wonder
about
what that question
Norway. It
was.
was going to be about actual Norway, not Sweden or Denmark.